Today's huddle on quadratics is one of the easier huddles. Let's take a look at number 1. It wants to know what the solution is, and it even tells you. It wouldn't have had to tell you, but when y is equal to 0, r of x is function notation. So where's our y equal to 0? Here and here. You should also know they could have asked this question by using the word roots, zeros, or x-intercepts in addition to the word solution. All four of those words mean the same. So it wants to know what one of them is. What is a solution? So this one, that's -2, -4, -6. So one's at -6. And this one over here is at 14. So which one's the answer? C. Really simple question. Let's go on to video example number 2. What is the vertex? So you'd have to know vocabulary. Vertex is, in the quadratic formula, either the maximum or the minimum point. And we have the equation. How are we going to tell? Well, you should have thought we need to graph that immediately. Most of these quadratics equations problems can be solved by graphing. So go ahead and graph that in your calculator. Push pause until you have it done. Alright, if you graphed it correctly, it would be at 1, 2, 3, up 1. The vertex would look somewhere right there at -3, 1. It was shifted left 3 and up 1. So the answer is H. Very simple, as we said at the beginning. Last example, let's take a look at video example 3. A function is graphed below. There's the picture. Which function best represents this by the graph? And they give us 4 equations. What's the easiest way to solve this? Well, a pretty simple method would be to graph each of these answer choices and see if it matches. That would be a fail-safe. If you do know vertex form of the quadratic function, however, it's also easy to check these answers. What does the number at the end tell us to do? Well, it tells us to either shift up or down. These are all positive, so is it shifted up 4 or up 3? Looking at the vertex, it was shifted up all the way to 4, so it can't be H and it can't be J. That leaves us with these two. They're both negative in front, which is why it's pointing down. One of them is shifted left and one is shifted right, which is why it's important for us to remember when it's in the parentheses, it shifts it, and it's the opposite of the way we normally think. Normally we think to move to the right is positive, but when it's in parentheses, it's negative to move to the right, and it's positive to move to the left. So the answer is F. Once again, you don't have to have that memorized because you could simply have started graphing those into your calculator, and when you graphed this, it would have looked like that. So the answer is F. If you have a question in the following questions, you can raise your hand. Quick hints on some of these. You need to draw your own quadratic according to what it's showing on that question. Here, draw pictures. Draw a graph when it gives you a table. Don't just go based on your own guesses. In this case, you don't even necessarily have to draw a graph because it tells you what one of them is, and then you're looking for the other. So anyhow, you get the point.